What's up, guys? It's Matterz. We have an absolutely huge video here regarding DLC 2 for Black Ops 3 Zombies, but we're going to be going over a ton of insane stuff regarding the location and everything involving H.P. Lovecraft's story that actually fueled the story of Shadows of Evil and that whole lore that surrounded the Easter egg, the map, the Shadow Man, Cthulhu, everything like that may actually be returning to this new DLC 2 map as we know right now within the island of Pompeii in Japan with, Takio's death, all of the apparent stuff occurring within DLC 2, and a ton of stuff we're going to cover here. A link is in the description to everything. I'm going to go through the actual Horizon Rock stuff first, and then we're going to go back on the actual Shadows of Evil stuff and how and why this is all connected. So here you go. I'm going to read straight from this so you guys really know what's going on here. So based on Shadows of Evil coordinates, one of the new maps are likely to be set in Pompeii. These coordinates, go directly towards this new map within Japan called Pompeii, obviously, and then there's a Horizon Rock cipher that makes it sound like there's another German-Japanese research station located in that area. It's like the island facility has now started. I think you guys have heard that before within the Horizon Rock cipher there. Now, what people are not talking about is Nan Madol, a ruined city on the actual island of Pompeii in Japan. This is a part of the island that's inspired by Lovecraft's city of Rael in The Call of Cthulhu, as well as some other fantasy novels, including one called The Moon Pool by A. Merritt. So even with that piece of information, on this island of Japan, okay, in Pompeii, those coordinates were found, obviously, within Richthofen's note, and then, obviously, the island's map was teased within the Horizon Rock cipher. Now, what's also really interesting, just like he said, part of the island was inspired by Lovecraft's story and the Call of Cthulhu. Okay, the Cthulhu story, that was basically the whole thing with Shadows of Evil. It's all connected. It really is all connected. So I'm going to move through a lot of this and we'll talk about this in general. Again, there's a lot of insane stuff. But just so you know, off the bat, you can already see, you know what? It's based off the story. It's there. The connection is there. But let's go through here. So it also has been theorized that in the past, there were remains of one of the mythical lost continents of Lemura or Mu. If I had to bet anything on it, there would be like some research station on the map similar to Horizon Rock or the Giant, but the ruins will also play a huge part as well, similar to the pyramid on Horizon Rock or the excavation site and the crazy place within Origins. Now here is Nan Madol itself, and this is the actual location on Pompeii in Japan, and you're going to see some images, and this is based off of H.P. Lovecraft's story, and this is also straight from Richthofen's notes found within Shadows of Evil. So I'll bring these images up, you can see them, and let's move on here. Now, it does look very much like Shangri-La-esque, if you don't think so. I think it really does. A lot of people do agree. Shinonuma as well. But those are, again, he really talks about the map in general. It's a change from a lot of the snowy, gloomy maps, and also a different achievement, stuff like that. He goes on to talk about a lot of different stuff. We're more focused on the actual story. And there's supposed to be an escape tunnel at the beginning of the center of Nan Madol and boring down through the reef and exit into the ocean. So again, within that location, there's some crazy thing that you exit into the ocean, so maybe a part of the Easter egg, something occurs there. So he goes on to say there's a lot of potential for a very cool, different map. The local mythology has dragons. According to Phoenician legend, Nan Madol was constructed by twin sorcerers Olisfa and Olisfa, like it's the same name with different spelling, from mythical western Cthulu or Kamawasu. The brothers arrived in a large canoe seeking a place to build an altar so that they can worship their sort of leader, the god of agriculture. After several false starts, the two brothers successfully built an altar off the Tewem Island where they performed their rituals. Again, a local mythological story in this Japanese island from the quotes of Richthofen, talking about rituals. This is an official thing. This is real life, this is what is going on. This is not all, this is based off of H.P. Lovecraft stuff. It's a lot of insane stuff. And then in the legend, these brothers levitated the huge stones with the aid of the flying dragon. So that's a lot of insane stuff there. Now, that's the whole basis with the Japanese sort of thing here. And he goes on to talk about, again, I'm not going to do so much of the Shadows of Evil stuff because it is just, it is relevant to some extent, but if you guys don't know, a lot of Shadows of Evil was directly based off of H.P. Lovecraft, all the way back in July, right when Shadows of Evil was released, or not really released, but like the trailer was released and it was announced, and we were all deciding, like what's this story going to be about, what is going to happen, what are we going to see, and a lot of people were saying H.P. Lovecraft, H.P. Lovecraft, a lot of the Cthulhu stuff, a lot of different YouTubers were talking about it. And the Shadow Man, obviously directly related, and this is actually from 3 months ago. The Shadow Man is directly related to Nyarlathotep and apparently these names are similar. Nyarlathotep, that's his name, and it's the god that created H.P. Lovecraft, and it's Lovecraft, and it's the same writer of Cthulhu as well, and the same like being behind Cthulhu. So he just goes on to talk about a bunch of different stuff involving the gods and Cthulhu of the H.P. Lovecraft sort of mythological series there, and all of that crazy stuff that involves that as well. Obviously, Shadows of Evil does a lot more behind it, but again, just to reiterate the clear connection between the Japanese island map of Pompeii and then the certain area of this map that directly relates and is inspired by H.P. Lovecraft's story, the same story that fueled Shadows of Evil and everything involving that. I think this is actually a huge revelation that we really need to consider, because this new DLC map, we talked about it being an Of the Dead map. We talked about it being some sort of map where you're going to have different characters and they're going to be a whole different storyline, but it may actually be an extent of the Shadows of Evil crew. Obviously, I don't think the Shadows of Evil crew will necessarily return, because Takeo has to die. It's just like the way the whole story is occurring. Takeo has to die. So unless like we're not playing as these Origins characters and then they just show up there, and we're playing as other characters, maybe friends of the Shadows of Evil crew, a lot of insane stuff may actually occur within this map. But just based off of that clear connection, it really is interesting to see that it's there. H.P. Lovecraft fueling this Shadows of Evil storyline, as we all know. And then obviously the island of Pompeii in Japan, and the coordinates obviously were from Richtofen's note within Shadows of Evil. It's also another really interesting thing. Within Shadows of Evil, also based off of H.P. Lovecraft, the coordinates to this island of Pompeii in Japan were there as well. And then it just so happens that something on that island is based off of H.P. Lovecraft's story and inspired a lot of insane stuff. So again, tell me guys what you think about this huge information for DLC 2 within this video. So hopefully you did enjoy, and that's really it. I'll see you guys later.